In the vast theater of existence, where stars are born from cosmic whispers and galaxies spiral in a majestic dance of creation, there unfolds a subtler drama beneath the surface of our waking minds. A drama of yearning, of striving, and of the restless chase. Have you ever felt caught in the relentless pursuit of something just beyond your grasp, as though your very breath depended on chasing shadows that dissolve the moment you reach toward them? This ceaseless motion, this insistent hunt for elusive outcomes, is woven into the fabric of human experience. Yet, paradoxically, it often leaves us more entangled in the web of desire than free to soar in. The skies of true fulfillment. To stop chasing, therein lies a profound invitation. It is not a mere cessation of activity, nor a surrender born of defeat. It is an awakening to a rhythm beyond our frantic footsteps, a tempo set not by the pounding of our own hearts but by the silent pulse of the universe itself. Imagine the universe as a grand, unseen weaver, pulling threads of reality through the loom of time and space, weaving patterns so intricate and luminous that our mortal eyes glimpse them only when the hands guiding those threads are still. To let the universe move the pieces for you is to quiet the restless mind, to cease the struggle against the current, and to trust in the mysterious architecture of unseen forces that orchestrate the unfolding of life's tapestry. This concept carries with it a paradox. In the act of release, we find true power. In surrender, we discover sovereignty. The metaphor of the chessboard emerges here. Life is a game played across a cosmic grid of infinite dimensions, where each piece moves not by random chance, but according to an unseen strategy far grander than our conscious selves can comprehend. When we grasp frantically at the pawns and knights, hoping to control the board, we lose sight of the possibility that the universe, as master player, holds the ultimate vision. To halt our chasing is to step back from the board and allow the divine hand to reposition the pieces, creating opportunities and revelations we never could have engineered alone. This invitation urges a reorientation from the small self's desperate grasp to the expansive self's quiet trust. It whispers of a relinquishing of control, not in defeat, but as an act of courage, an embrace of the mystery that life is far more than the sum of our attempts to force outcomes. It asks of us a radical faith in the hidden intelligence that animates the cosmos, the same intelligence that shapes the spiral of a galaxy, the growth rings of an ancient tree, the neural constellation firing within our own minds. In that faith lies a transformation, a shift from the frantic scatter of energy-chasing fleeting goals to the patient, measured unfolding of the soul moving in sync with universal flow. To frame this in the language of consciousness and spiritual awakening is to recognize that what we chase often represents fragmented desires born of ego's illusions, the need to possess, to control, to prove, to escape. But beyond that tumult lies a deeper truth. The universe is not an opponent to outmaneuver but a partner in co-creation. When we release the illusion of solitary control, it feels as if the ground beneath us might give way, yet what truly unravels is the thread of fear that held us captive. The very act of letting go becomes the spark that ignites a different kind of power, the alchemy of allowing, which transmutes restlessness into peace, impatience into presence. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast ocean under a sky swirling with auroras of possibility, the tide rising in rhythms older than memory. To chase is to fight against the current, struggling to grasp the water as it slips through our fingers like liquid starlight. To stop chasing is to place your hands in the water and let yourself be carried, trusting that the tide knows the way, that it will bring you, gently but surely, to the shores where all pieces fall into place. This is not an abdication of responsibility but a profound act of alignment, a dance with the cosmos' invisible hand. Such a perspective invites a cosmic humility coupled with a visionary hope. It is an acknowledgement that the universe's intelligence is vast and unfathomable, and that our small efforts, though vital, gain their fullest potency when harmonized with this greater order. Here, every moment of stillness becomes a portal, every act of release a seed for new creation. The chase, with all its noise and exertion, fades into a backdrop, and what remains is the luminous foreground of unfolding mystery, a certainty that the pieces we cannot yet see are moving into place, carried not by our frantic will, but by the tender gravity of universal design. In this unfolding narrative, the practical world and the cosmic weave are not separate domains, but threads of the same fabric. The art of stopping the chase and letting the universe move the pieces for you is thus a practice both mystical and deeply practical, accessible to those willing to hear the silent rhythms beneath their breath, and to trust that the unseen currents of reality are carrying them toward a destiny not crafted by struggle, but by surrender. Herein lies the beginning of a journey that transcends mere human striving, a path leading toward a profound harmony where the dance of existence is no longer a frantic race, but a flowing, unfolding symphony, one in which we learn to move with the music of the cosmos rather than against it. To grasp the essence of ceasing the relentless chase and allowing the universe to move the pieces in our favor, one must first step beyond the veil of conditioned perception, into the fertile ground where illusion dissolves and deeper truths emerge. The act of chasing, as ingrained in the modern psyche, is itself a powerful mirage, an intricate dance with shadows cast by the flickering fire of ego and fragmented will. It is a pattern so deeply wired that it masquerades as necessity, a cosmic compulsion etched into the rhythms of society and inner turmoil alike. Yet underneath this frenetic pursuit lies an ancient current, an invitation whispered through the timeless corridors of existence, to surrender not out of defeat, but as a conscious alignment with the pulse of universal harmony. At the core of this realignment is the recognition that the universe is not a chaotic battleground where disparate pieces are wrestled into place by sheer force or unyielding desire. Rather, it is a living, breathing architecture of interwoven patterns, where every event, every atom, every thought vibrates within the lattice of collective intelligence. To chase is to grasp at waves on the ocean's surface, mistaking turbulence for progress. To stop chasing is to dive beneath, where the currents flow silent and sure, guided by the subtle gravity of unseen laws. This shift from surface agitation to depth immersion represents the first pillar, the surrender to universal orchestration rather than individual imposition. Within this surrender is a profound paradox that the mind often resists, a tension between effort and ease, between doing and allowing. The prevailing cultural narrative venerates relentless striving, framing it as the path to achievement and self-worth. Yet this outlook, while seemingly pragmatic, obscures a more truthful and expansive view. That effort alone, divorced from attunement, is a fragment of movement without melody. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, operates through rhythms beyond immediate comprehension, cycles of expansion and contraction, manifestation and evaporation, pull and release. To step into the flow that moves the pieces without force requires a deep trust in these rhythms, an acceptance that the unfolding of life's tapestry is not linear or mechanical, but organic and fractal. This trust is not blind submission, but a deliberate embrace of the unknown, a willing attuning to the cosmic pulse beneath apparent randomness. Here, we encounter the second guiding pillar, the relinquishment of false control and the cultivation of sacred receptivity. Control, as popularly conceived, is an illusion, a shimmering veil that obscures the vast web of invisible cause and effect. The ancient wisdom traditions speak of the universe as a grand dance of energies, where each step both influences and is influenced, where the individual self is simultaneously a drop in the ocean and the ocean itself. Recognizing this duality dissolves the false dichotomy between self and other, action and consequence, chase and stillness. In practical terms, this means understanding that the pieces on our game board, relationships, opportunities, outcomes, are not isolated tokens manipulated by human hands but living reflections of a cosmic pattern operating on multiple levels at once. The deeper truth here is that every element in our lives is responsive to the quality of our inner state. The universe is exquisitely sensitive to the vibrations we emit, not as mechanical cause and effect, but as a subtle tuning fork resonating with infinite possibility. When we chase, driven by impatience or fear, our frequency tightens into contraction, narrowing the bandwidth of what can come forth. When instead we release the grip, relax into presence, and embody spaciousness, we open ourselves to a broader spectrum of cosmic dialogue, allowing the universe to guide the alignment of pieces with a wisdom beyond the reach of frantic effort. This interplay of inner vibration and outer manifestation reveals a third pillar, the inseparability of consciousness and creation. The universe is not a static backdrop, but a responsive mirror, reflecting back the contours of our consciousness in patterns both visible and hidden. To stop chasing is to shift from a mindset of scarcity and competition to one of abundance and co-creation. It is to recognize that the fear-driven impulse to seize what is missing arises from an obscured vision. Behind this obscuration lies a more expansive field of potential, where the universe, in its infinite generosity, is always moving pieces toward our highest good, if only we are willing to align with its timing and intelligence. This alignment invites a redefinition of success and progress. No longer measured solely by tangible acquisitions or milestones, progress becomes an attunement to the unfolding harmony beneath the surface. It is like watching a celestial symphony where each instrument, each note, comes to life in perfect sequence, guided by an invisible conductor. In this metaphor, our moments of impatient grasping are discordant bursts, while acts of surrender and trust are the fluid passages that carry the music forward. By embracing this cosmic tempo, we participate as both conductor and audience, creators who do not dominate the score but co-create its unfolding resonance. Interwoven with these pillars is the revelation that time itself is a construct bending in service of this dance. The linear ticking of clocks and calendars is a shallow telling of a deeper truth, where moments fold, spiral, and echo in fractal patterns. The chase, with its fixation on deadlines and immediate results, traps consciousness in a constricted tunnel of expectation. When we cease the chase, time becomes a vast ocean, each wave carrying the pieces in a rhythm that cannot be hurried or forced. This temporal surrender is not passivity but a dynamic allowing, a space where potential can germinate, unseen forces can mobilize, and synchronicities can conspire in perfect timing. Beneath all these threads lies a humbling recognition that our individual narratives are part of an immense cosmic story, where free will and destiny intertwine like lovers in an eternal embrace. To stop chasing is to acknowledge that while our choices matter, they are expressions within a much larger script, composed with such intricacy that human striving alone cannot direct its course. This is not a resignation to fate, but an awakening to our role as co-creators who, by ceasing to wrest control, open the doorway to miracles orchestrated by the universe's grand intelligence. Thus, the core themes of letting the universe move the pieces invite us to move beyond the worn scripts of struggle and striving into a realm of embodied trust, conscious surrender, and radiant presence. We are called to become the still eye within the storm, the silent witness to the cosmic unfolding who knows that the apparent chaos of the chase masks a deeper order. The pieces are never truly lost or misplaced. They are simply flowing within a divine current, moving with a purpose that transcends human urgency and demand. In this light, stopping the chase is not an end, but a beginning, the awakening into a state of grace where the mysterious hand of the universe guides with precision, love, and wisdom. It is an invitation to dance not against the tide, but with it, to become fluid and receptive like water, to trust the invisible architecture beneath the surface, and to know that in surrender lies the power to manifest a reality far more aligned, abundant, and luminous than anything frantic grasping could ever achieve. To stop chasing, then, is to awaken to the deeper cosmic truth that we are not separate actors wrestling fate, but integral notes in a magnificent symphony where the universe itself moves the pieces for us. In a realm beyond the grasp of spoken language, where symbols breathe and stories ripple through the fabric of existence like cosmic winds, there unfolds a tale as old as time itself, a tale that whispers the secret of ceasing the chase and allowing the universe to move the pieces for us. Imagine, if you will, an ancient garden not planted by human hands, but grown from seeds sown by the very breath of creation. In this garden stands a labyrinth of twisting vines, each leaf a shimmering mirror reflecting infinite possibilities. At the heart of this labyrinth sits a solitary figure, a silent gardener who tends not to force the growth but to listen deeply, to the soil, to the sigh of the wind, to the murmurs of the unseen roots beneath. This gardener represents the soul who has learned to stop the frantic pursuit of shaping life's outcomes and instead trusts the mysterious pulse of the universe's rhythm. The vines, wild and entangled, are not obstacles but messengers, each curling in cryptic patterns that reveal the hidden geometry of cosmic order. As the gardener steps back, relinquishing the desperate tightening of control, the labyrinth shifts, shimmering, reshaping itself in response to quiet intention and open-hearted presence. Herein lies the first allegory. The garden is not a battleground to conquer, but a living dance partner inviting us to move with grace rather than force, to co-create rather than command. The pieces are fluid, animated by an intelligence far grander than our fears and fixations. Another story emerges from the depths of a vast ocean, whispered by tides that cradle the secrets of ebb and flow. Picture a small boat of delicate design, adrift upon waters that stretch beyond the horizon's edge, neither aimless nor lost, but precisely where it is meant to be. The captain of this vessel once gripped the rudder so tightly, thrashing against the currents in a desperate attempt to steer toward distant shores imagined in haste and hunger. Yet, despite all effort, the boat seemed tethered to shadows, pulled by currents unseen and directions unknown. One night, under a vault of stars swirling in constellations older than memory, the captain relinquished the grip. With no command over the vastness, the hands unclenched. The boat did not founder but glided effortlessly, carried by the gentle pull of the tides, the moon's luminous gravity guiding the course. The ocean's movement became a sacred choreography, the boat a vessel participating in a cosmic symphony far beyond the captain's earlier grasp. This parable unveils the profound truth that surrender does not signify helplessness, but alignment. To stop chasing is not to abandon the helm, but to trust the unseen laws that govern the waters of reality, the gravitational dance between desires, timing, and divine orchestration. In this sacred release, what once seemed like chaos aligns into a synchronistic voyage, where the pieces fall into place not by our striving, but by the universe's masterful unfolding. Delving deeper, there is the legend of the Weaver of Stars, an ancient being who crafts tapestries not with thread but with the luminous strands of destiny and free will intertwined. Each thread is a human intention or action, glowing with potential and shadow alike, stretching across an infinite loom. The weaver does not force the threads to bend to a single pattern, but allows them to flow and intersect naturally. The intricate design emerges only when the individual threads surrender their ego-driven tension and become one with the greater weave. Those who attempt to pull their threads forcibly to manifest a singular vision find the tapestry snarled and incomplete. Yet when the threads loosen and flow, touched gently by the weaver's infinite hands, the pattern reveals a breathtaking cosmic order, complex, fluid, and alive. This narrative is an intimate reflection of how our lives are woven into a grander whole, where control is illusory and surrender is the loom's true art. We are both the threads and the weavers, yet the greatest creations arise when the ego loosens its grip and merges into the universal fabric. The weaver's tapestry is a living metaphor for the universe moving the pieces, a call to trust the invisible hand threading through our days, crafting a destiny beyond the narrow confines of human urgency. In a quieter, more introspective vein, consider the story of a river stone, smoothed over centuries by the patient caress of flowing water. This stone once was jagged, sharp-edged, embodying resistance to the current and a stubborn grasp on form. Time and tide taught it the wisdom of yielding, of becoming like water itself, fluid, receptive, and shaped not by force but by persistent, gentle movement. The stone's transformation was not a loss but an awakening. By ceasing to fight the current, it found harmony with the river's journey, becoming both sculpted and sculptor in the endless dance of erosion and renewal. This humble metamorphosis mirrors the spiritual path of stopping the chase. Like the stone, when we surrender to the flow that moves through all things, our rough edges soften, illusions of control dissolve, and we begin to recognize the profound intelligence in the currents of existence. We become participants in the universe's shaping force rather than resisting it, demonstrating that true power is not in grasping, but in graceful yielding. Threaded through these allegories is the resonance of a cosmic truth. The illusion of control is a veil that clouds the deeper reality of interconnectedness and timing. The universe, in its vastness and complexity, is an artist beyond our comprehension, moving pieces with a precision and wisdom no frantic chase can match. To stop chasing is to open the eyes of the soul, to see the invisible dance of stars and shadows choreographing our path, a dance where every step is held in sacred trust. These symbolic narratives awaken us to the realization that the universe's movement is not random chaos, but a symphony composed in silence, heard only when we stop shouting our demands. They remind us that the choice is not between effort and passivity, but between resistance and surrender, between forcing the pieces to fit our design and allowing the greater pattern to emerge with breathtaking clarity and grace. In this surrender, there is a paradoxical power, a luminous freedom that arises when we relinquish grasp and invite the mystery to guide. Through the gardener, the captain, the weaver, and the river stone, we glimpse the eternal dance of ceasing the chase and trusting the universe. They call to us across time and space, urging us to step out of the tempestuous storm of striving and into the quiet sanctuary of flow, where the pieces align not because of our will, but because we have opened ourselves to the sublime artistry of the cosmos itself. To weave these grand cosmic insights into the tapestry of our everyday existence is to embark upon a delicate alchemy, one where the ethereal meets the tangible and the invisible currents beneath our lives become the quiet architects of our reality. It is here, in the ordinary breath of daily routine, that the soul's surrender to the universe's rhythm must find its grounding, showing us how to dance with life's mysterious cadence rather than stumble against an unseen tide. Imagine the moment when urgency dissolves into presence, when the frantic hammering of the heart against circumstance softens into the gentle pulse of trust. In our careers, relationships, and creative pursuits, this translates to a subtle but profound shift, from forcing outcomes to tending the fertile soil where opportunity naturally springs. The compulsion to chase success, approval, or validation often blinds us to the intricate network of unseen support, the silent hands of the cosmos arranging circumstances in their own perfect sequence. By ceasing the chase, we clear the murky waters of desperation, allowing the light of intuition and quiet knowing to surface, guiding us toward decisions that resonate with our deepest essence rather than fleeting desires. In the realm of human connection, this cosmic cadence reveals a sacred truth. Relationships cannot be hurried nor controlled without fracturing their delicate harmony. When we grasp desperately for affection or understanding, we become like sprawling vines that suffocate the very tree we wish to nurture. Yet, when we release our grip and trust the unfolding of mutual timing, the universe takes the role of a master gardener, pruning and weaving bonds with an artistry that outshines our impatience. This does not imply passivity or neglect, but a vigilant openness, a reverent patience that recognizes the unseen hand shaping encounters and reveals that sometimes the richest connections arrive not by chasing, but by stillness, by presence, and by receptivity. Even in the smallest moments of daily life, the choices we entertain, the habits we cultivate, the quiet decisions to rest or to move forward, the invitation to let the universe move the pieces offers a radical reorientation of agency. Here, surrender is not capitulation but a creative collaboration with the unknown. Instead of sprinting toward goals as if they were distant lights we must seize, we become co-creators with the unfolding mystery, aware that each seemingly trivial action participates in a grander scheme beyond our immediate comprehension. This presence invites a profound trust that the universe's invisible hand is always at work, rooting potentials, opening doors, and aligning circumstances. If only we release the futile effort of chasing and instead walk gently alongside the flow of life's great river. Financial worries and material desires, often the most noisy drums in the human mind, find themselves transformed under this new paradigm of non-chasing. The endless pursuit of security or abundance can become a restless storm, eroding peace and fracturing well-being. Yet, when we attune ourselves to the subtle movements of the universe, we begin to perceive an economy far richer than mere currency, the economy of synchronicity, timing, and energetic exchange. By trusting that our needs will be met in the divine unfolding, we cultivate a spaciousness inside, a reservoir of calm in which true creativity and opportunity germinate. This trust does not erase the necessity of effort or wise stewardship, but reframes it as a partnership. We plant seeds with intention, water them with mindful action, and then surrender the outcome to the unseen forces orchestrating growth. Within the landscape of personal transformation, the principle of stopping the chase whispers a liberating secret. The self, often fractured by relentless striving to become someone or something outside of our present state, can rest in the sacred now by embracing the universe's unfolding plan. Healing, growth, and awakening reveal themselves not as linear achievements, but as spiraling evolutions, a dance of expansion and contraction, arrival and release. When we stop forcing the pace, when we relinquish the need to engineer our own spiritual milestones or identity landmarks, we open the door to a richer aliveness that embraces imperfection, mystery, and the infinite possibility woven into each moment. The universe's movement becomes a partner in our becoming, reflecting back the hidden architecture of our potential with a clarity that chasing can never yield. Even the modern thirst for knowledge and understanding finds new depth when tempered by this surrender. In the frenetic search for answers, whether scientific, philosophical, or spiritual, we often overlook the subtle teaching that some truths emerge only in silence and patience. The universe's revelations are not trophies to be won by conquest, but gifts unveiled in stillness, in the gentle pause between questions. This attunement to timing enriches our inner life, allowing us to receive insights that ripple through our consciousness like ripples on a still pond, expanding outward in waves of awakening that reconfigure our perception of reality itself. By relinquishing the chase for immediate comprehension or control over the mysteries, we step into a sacred dialogue with the unknown, where each insight arrives as a blossoming flower in the garden of the soul, rather than a frantic pluck. This sacred dance with surrender also transforms the way we face uncertainty, the shadowy terrain where the human mind often clamors for certainty and control. To stop chasing is to find a stillness amidst the swirling storms of doubt and fear, a place where trust replaces anxiety, and the unknown is embraced as a fertile ground rather than a threat. It is here, in this paradoxical space, that the universe reveals its most profound artistry, moving pieces quietly yet decisively toward synchronicity and meaning. This trust does not demand blind faith, but a grounded awareness that the cosmos operates with a precision that transcends our limited perspective. It invites us to hold paradox gently, to acknowledge both the mystery and the clarity, the unseen and the manifested, in a fluid harmony that liberates us from the exhausting burden of trying to orchestrate every chord in the symphony of life. In moments when life's currents pull us toward frantic chasing, whether in ambition, love, healing, or understanding, remembering this vast cosmic rhythm can anchor us. It can remind us that our role is not to battle against the tide or scramble to rearrange stars, but to find our place within the divine choreography. Like a surfer who waits with patience for the wave to carry them rather than paddling endlessly against the ocean, we learn to recognize that mastery emerges not through force, but through alignment. By embodying this principle in everyday choices, whether through mindful breath, patient listening, or the gentle release of expectations, we create the conditions for the universe's grand design to unfold with breathtaking clarity and harmony. Ultimately, integrating the wisdom of stopping the chase into daily life is an invitation to live with a profound spaciousness, an openness to the unfolding, an intimacy with timing, and a trust in the invisible hands that shape our reality. It is a call to embrace the paradox of effort and ease, to step into the flow where we no longer clutch at outcomes, but rather move in concert with the cosmic dance. In this sacred surrender, the pieces begin to arrange themselves, and life reveals itself not as a frantic scramble, but as an artful, living tapestry woven by a master unseen but deeply felt. This is the alchemical doorway through which the profound meets the practical, where the vastness of the universe becomes the fertile ground of our every step, and the chase ceases, giving rise to a luminous freedom only found when we trust the cosmos to move the pieces for us. As the twilight of this exploration settles gently upon our shared consciousness, a quiet invitation lingers in the air, an echo of the ancient call to pause, to breathe, and to relinquish the tireless grasp that binds us to ceaseless pursuit. In the vast cathedral of the cosmos, where stars trace their eternal arcs and galaxies whirl in silent, majestic rhythms, the notion of stopping the chase emerges not as surrender to passivity, but as a courageous alignment with the sacred pulse that animates all existence. It is here, in the stillness between breaths, that the universe weaves its quiet magic, and the pieces, those shimmering fragments of destiny, desire, and divinity, begin to find their place as if stirred by an unseen hand. To dwell within this space of surrender is to recognize that the architecture of reality is more intricate, more tender, and more profoundly orchestrated than our hurried minds often permit. Our efforts, no matter how fervent, are but tributaries flowing into a vast ocean of cosmic intelligence, a river whose course is charted not by frantic striving, but by trust and reverence. When we cease to chase, we open a portal into a dimension where time unfurls like a delicate lotus, each petal a moment imbued with grace and possibility. In this expanse, the universe is not an indifferent machine, but a living, breathing canvas, responding with fluid artistry to the subtle shifts of our intention and the softness of our release. Consider the dance of the autumn leaves as they detach from their branches, swirling and spiraling in a spontaneous choreography woven by wind and gravity. There is no resistance in their fall, no grasping for a fixed destination, only the elegance of surrender to the forces greater than themselves. In this metaphor lies a profound teaching. To stop chasing is to become like those leaves, to trust the currents of existence while cultivating an inner stillness that allows for effortless navigation. It is to understand that the universe, with all its mysteries and marvels, moves in ways that transcend our linear comprehension, arranging the seemingly scattered pieces of our lives into patterns that reflect the deepest wisdom of the cosmos. This awakening to cosmic timing and universal orchestration invites a transformation as intimate as it is expansive. It calls us to relinquish the illusion that control over outcomes is within our grasp, and instead to cultivate a sacred partnership with the flow of life. Such partnership is not passive resignation but active receptivity, a readiness to engage with each moment fully, while simultaneously releasing attachment to how the story should unfold. It is the delicate art of holding one's desires lightly, of planting seeds without demanding immediate bloom, and of walking paths that reveal themselves step by step, illuminated by the subtle light of intuition and trust. Within this sacred interplay of effort and surrender lies the alchemy of true freedom. We discover that when we stop chasing, the heaviness of expectation dissolves into a luminous buoyancy, and the tapestry of our existence reveals hidden patterns of synchronicity and grace. The universe, no longer a distant enigma but a familiar, tender guide, moves the pieces with a precision that honors both our individuality and our place within the grand mosaic of being. It is a reminder that the soul's journey is not a frantic race toward a finish line but a flowing pilgrimage, where each moment contains infinite depths of meaning, and each pause opens a doorway into the eternal. As you carry these reflections back into the rhythm of your daily life, may you find solace in the knowing that the cosmos conspires on your behalf, moving the pieces with a wisdom that far surpasses the limits of human perception. In the moments when restlessness stirs, when the urge to chase resurfaces like a roaring tide, remember the immense power held within the act of stopping, the power to transform struggle into harmony, urgency into presence, and chaos into unfolding beauty. In this sacred pause, life's mysteries become invitations rather than puzzles, and the journey itself reveals its luminous heart. Embrace this truth not as a distant ideal but as a living, breathing practice, a sacred pact with the universe to honor its timing, to trust its guidance, and to dance effortlessly within its grand design. Allow yourself the grace to be carried rather than to carry, to be moved rather than to move blindly, to witness the invisible thread that stitches moments together into a masterpiece of cosmic intelligence. In this surrender, the fragments of your existence align with the pulse of creation, and the universe, in all its infinite wisdom, gently lifts the veil to reveal the profound truth that in letting go of the chase, you step fully into the flow of your own becoming, and through that flow, the cosmos itself moves seamlessly, beautifully, and eternally right alongside you.